This time last year, Ned Long was still working in sports tech in the CBD. He was playing VFL on the weekend. Of course, all that changed 12 months ago to the day when Collingwood used the second last pick in the mid-season rookie draft to give him a second chance. And hasn't he grasped it? Look at what he's done this year. His first month of the year was the sub predominantly, but since round 5, he's the #1 rated player at Collingwood. And Chad, Champion Data are rating him as the most improved player in 2025.
Yeah, and what I love about him is that he's playing his natural game, and that's what Craig McKay has asked of him. I spoke to him after the game at Gather Round against Sydney, where he got activated and dominated. And he said, you know what, I've just gone back to what makes me a good player. Clearances, tackle and pressure. And he's the 5th player in the competition at tackles per game. So just shows that sticking to your strengths, playing your role, can really pay dividends.
It's got us thinking, who are the other players in the AFL in 2025 that have spiked, that have really improved? And there are some really interesting names that I want to unpack with you. Bailey Humphrey is one. He was taken a pick 6 in 2022. Damien Hardwick's really got him going. He used the Dustin Martin comparison early, but is there another player that Bailey Humphrey reminds you of?
Well, someone similar to Dustin Martin, but I really think Bailey Humphrey is a similar kind of player to a more athletic DeGoey. I know that's a big call, but you talk about the impact he has per disposals. That's the kind of player that he reminds me of. That he's not going to get 20 plus 30 disposal games, but he's going to impact the game regardless of what he gets.
Toby Green. I see a little bit of Toby Green in him as well. Some amazing comparisons when it comes to Bailey Humphrey. Paul Curtis is an absolute favourite of yours. We've discussed him a lot on this show. I think he had an All-Australian blazer after round 7. He missed those 3 games due to suspension. He came back on the weekend. Blazer or no blazer, given where he's playing and the role he plays, is he the most improved forward this year?
Well, I think he's the most improved forward because he's in a team that hasn't improved one iota in North Melbourne. They're not, I suppose, playing really well, and he's a half forward, and I'm going to be biased again, but it's the hardest role to play in a team that's struggling, right? So for him to increase his goals by almost double, increase his inside 50s by double, just shows the impact that he's having. He's the 2nd highest rated player in North Melbourne behind potentially All-Australian ruckman Xuri. So it just shows the impact he has for that club.
Now, Bailey Smith is going to take some absolute beating this year when it comes to the recruit of the year. But Matt Kennedy isn't far behind him. Of course, on deadline day, he was involved in that 4-club, 3-player trade. What did it cost the Western Bulldogs to acquire him? Because right now, he's kicking goals. He's up to 14 for the year. He's averaging 25 disposals. But just remind us about that deadline day deal.
Pick 38, so that's a pretty good steal.
Good business.
Yes, we talk about players that are getting steal of the draft, but what about steal of the trade table? I mean, it's almost like an underhand deal. That's how important he's been for Western Bulldogs. He's dominating, and he's not taking away from some of the players that are in Western Bulldogs who dominate around the centre. So to kick goals, he's been amazing for him.
Need to point out Lockie Ash as well. He's in that hunt for an All-Australian blazer. He's up against Bailey, Dale, Nazai Wanganeen-Miller and Jack Sinclair. He's got 2, of course. Ed Richards was in that conversation at the start of last year, but he's changed roles and he now looks like one of the best midfielders in the game.
And talk about Western Bulldogs, a lot of players have been shifted around and they're dominating at the moment. But what impresses me about Ed Richards is his, I suppose, confidence with ball in hand. His kicking is unbelievable.
Elite.
In terms like where he hits every target inside forward 50. So his confidence with ball in hand is what's really impressed me.